The rise of pickleball is spreading and happening everywhere. New courts are being built all over, and even better, we've been watching this sport grow like crazy here in Rhinelander. The JH tennis courts now have 22 courts, and Pioneer Park has 8. But for those that are not too familiar with this sport and how to even play it, today we meet with Bandon Mackie, the co-founder of Pickleheads, who tells us more about the statistics and even some data on popular courts. And we have Bandon Mackie joining us today, the founder of Pickleheads. Bandon, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about co-founder of Pickleheads. First, let's start with, what is pickleball?
Yeah, you can think about pickleball as a cross between tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's a really fun sport. Its claim to fame is it's been the fastest growing sport in America for 3 years running now. Between 10 and 40 million players playing, depending on which numbers you believe. So a lot of people have picked up a paddle. And the gameplay is very similar to tennis, but the equipment is different. It's more similar to ping pong. And the sport's very easy to learn. It's a social sport, and people tend to try it once and they get hooked. And it's been amazing to just watch how it's grown over the last few years.
So how did you, it's obviously, like you mentioned, it was invented 50 years ago, but what made you bring it back and reinvent it, and what gave you the idea and the inspiration to start this?
Well, I got into pickleball early on during the pandemic when the gyms were closed and all the usual activities I would do were shut down. And pickleball was great because it was a convenient way to go outside and socialize responsibly and get some exercise, get some sunshine. And in a lot of ways, PickleHeads, which is a platform to find courts, find games, and find other people to play with, is something that I wish had existed when I was first starting out. Because back then, everything was word of mouth. There wasn't really a good way to find even where to play the sport. And because of that, I only ended up playing maybe once every couple weeks just because I didn't have a way to set up games where really I wanted to be playing every day. So PickleHeads is a way to help people play more of the sport that they love, very simply.
And it sounds really fun. Definitely something I would like to try one day. So now with it's obviously rising, so it's obviously becoming popular, and we have brought it over here to Rhinelander. Tell us a little bit about like any kind of popular, the statistics, popular courts here in Rhinelander, because it's growing here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So in our database, we're able to track where, courts are popping up and hotspots of activity. And for us at Pioneer Park, having 8 dedicated courts, all the areas that we track, that's very rare to have a facility that has that many dedicated courts that are public with permanent lines and permanent nets. With pickleball, a lot of times you'll play in maybe a gymnasium or with lines overlaid on tennis courts, but you have to bring your own net. The best experience is when you have dedicated courts, which you have, right there, pretty close to downtown. Because of that, there's a thriving community, the Rhinelander Pickleball Group on Facebook, over 400 folks that follow that. So it's been really exciting to see, and it's a beautiful facility. And what we've seen is anytime you get that type of facility, the sport just kind of tends to grow itself because people have a place to play. What we see in a lot of other places is a lot more people want to play than there are courts. So there is a court shortage, and I think you're very lucky to have that type of facility locally.
For people that obviously don't know anything about it, where can they go and find out more information, how to get in touch with you if they have any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So our site is pickleheads.com. You can think about it like a search engine for pickleball. So whether you're looking for a court to play at or a game, an open play to go, which I recommend, that's a great format to try the sport for the first time. Or you're looking for other groups to get in touch with or join in the local area, that can all happen on PickleHeads. You can also download our mobile app on iOS or Android. And it's a really convenient way to find play, whether you're just in your local area or maybe you're traveling, getting out of the cold, heading down to Florida, something like that. Our site and app is a great way to find games when you're on the go as well.
And is that a way for people to reach you as well if they have any questions?
Yeah, so you can you can drop me a note. If you send a note into support@pickleheads.com, there's just 3 of us on the team, so one of us will respond personally. I'll get your note and be happy to connect. And I'm always happy to talk about pickleball. I'm very passionate about it. It's a lot of fun, so feel free to send me an email.
Okay, well, thank you, Brandon, for giving us a chance and joining us today for our Up North at 4 show. And we will be right back after this break.